Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
Nothing but nonsense.
Welcome back to episode 10 of Nothing But Not Spill It in front of I can't remember the all-time leading point scorer in the NBA. I'd like to ask you.
Person? Yeah.
Favorite cereal?
Cheerios. Really?
So we will see you in the next episode. Deuces. Welcome back to episode 31 of Nothing But Nonsense. I'm your host, Chase Thomas.
I'm Noah Weiss.
And today we are joined and we are blessed to have Mike Morgan of Outdoor with the Morgans on our podcast today.
Glad to be here.
It is an honor to have you on here. As small YouTube creators, you were once in that position, so it's very cool to get to talk to you. I will plug all of Mike's stuff down in the description. You can check out their main YouTube channel with Outdoor with the Morgans. His wife has a channel, Outdoor Organs Off the Leash, and then as well as all of your Amazon storefront links, and then your actual merchandise store as well, right?
Yeah, we sell a lot of merchandise, yeah.
Anything you want to say before we kind of kick this off?
Mike Morgan, the channel's Outdoors with the Morgans. I started this about six and a half years ago, and became a full-time YouTuber about 2.5 years ago. I think I left my real job. I worked in oil and gas and had a good job, and I probably should have left like the year before that, but it's just I didn't. And but about 2.5 years ago, I started doing YouTube full time.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's kind of what I would like to be able to do at some point in my future. I also like this version because we get to sit in an intimate setting with someone like yourself and be able to have a full conversation like that. As always, we have a bunch of nonsense prepared for Mr. Morgan.
Okay.
That's kind of what we do. And as well as we're just going to kind of talk about day-to-day things, have normal conversation like we always do. I kind of wanted to first start it off by saying I went and actually met Mr. Morgan about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago probably. Probably 2 weeks ago. And during my research, I had actually researched your channel, and I'll go over a few of those statistics for you again, because I, as an aspiring YouTuber, love these statistics because it shows to me that I can do something that you've already done. You have 7.6 million views on your most viewed channel, or on your most viewed video, which was you actually using the wood miser.
Right.
Which I thought was a fascinating video because it is literally a time lapse of you using the wood miser and cutting the tree into slabs.
And the wood miser is a sawmill, if you're not familiar with that.
Yep. Now, do you use those slabs for construction around the property?
Yeah, we build things and we sell some and trade, and we do all kind of things with it. The sawmill is more of a hobby, but I recently just bought a new machine. The last one I had was like a manual.
Yeah.
Now the one I got now is like fully hydraulic.
Is it really?
It's like, yeah, it's wicked fast. Like you can take a tree in the morning and have a nice stack of lumber in the afternoon.
All prepared for you.
Yeah.
You've, like you said, you started YouTube about 6 years ago. Your first words ever spoken on the channel, like I had said to you before, were, I haven't run this thing for about 2 months. Let's see how she starts. One pull. And that was in reference to the old Husky log splitter.
I didn't even know that until he told me that.
It took him 7 episodes. His first 5, I believe, were you doing your little travel slideshows.
Right.
When you guys would travel out west.
It's kind of weird because I used to go out in the woods to like get away from people. You know what I mean? It's just peaceful and do things. And then one day I just took a camera with me and everything just kind of started. And then I published a video on like how I cut firewood. And quite honestly, I forgot about it. You know, I just wasn't paying attention. And I come back like 2-3 weeks later and there's like 5,000 views on this video. I'm like, well, just do another one. You know what I mean? See what happens. And it didn't take long before it kind of started getting serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I could kind of see what was beginning to happen. And I quickly realized there are way more people out there than I thought that are into the same sorts of things that I am. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that many people were into like equipment and firewood and sawmills and things like that. But there's a lot of people. It's kind of directed more towards rural living people. Some people call it like modern homesteading. You know, that whole kind of thing is what
I said to Chase earlier. I called it comfort videos.
Yeah.
Where you can just sit down and like a lot of it's like background noise and just you have background
Some
music
people
playing.
said it
is-
helps them go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, let's keep
That's
playing.
exactly
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like you just listen to the nature, listen to nature while watching you
I actually,
move the bobcats and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
if I could figure it out, I would like to do a live stream out in the woods of like have a deer feeder up or something like that, and just have wildlife
People will watch that.
coming in all day long. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, and all night long, and
Yeah.
just be able to live
Look,
stream.
people
it.
watch that. People watch.
The bald eagle cams,
Bald
that's
eagle
what I
cams.
think of.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
people love that
Yeah.
stuff, and I think it's pretty cool too. And then you could just kind of bounce in whenever you want and see
See what's going on.
happening, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool because one of my next questions was like, what was there a drive to post the first video, or was it kind of, or not necessarily the first video, but like the first the felling of the trees and the sawmill, and like was there
The first, well, like most people, if I would break something or try to fix something, I didn't know how, I would go to YouTube to try to figure it out. And I quickly realized a lot of people are putting like a lot of effort into these videos,
Sure.
you know? And I thought I had at least a little something to offer. So I uploaded a video, but that's kind of how it started, you know?
Yeah.
And I did more like how-to type stuff early on, but then it kind of just transformed into, you build this audience over time. And we have, you know, it sounds, people say this all the time, but the greatest audience. We really do. We have a very, very loyal following. And I know that because I'll see channels with 700, 800, a million subscribers that are getting 20 or 30,000 views on a video, where our consistency shows that people keep coming back. You know,
Sure.
we're like around 100,000 views basically every video, no matter what we do. So
Yeah.
we have a very loyal following, and we'll have meetups like at different shows and events, and it's nothing to meet 500 or 600 people in a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, they'll come
so-
out and say
so
hi
cool.
and stuff.
Do you look at the analytics of your page a
Oh,
lot?
I love analytics. I love numbers. I've always been into numbers. Yeah.
yeah
It's one
It's
of those.
fascinating when you publish a video like in the morning, and that night you look at the watch time hours and you're like, that was like 7 years of viewing 24/7, 365. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
a video that I published that morning. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's one of those, like the YouTube Studio app is one of the apps. Like click on it, look at everything, close it, click it right back.
yeah
Like
Yeah.
I'm just drawn to it.
Yeah, I'm drawn to it too because we, like you had said, you don't tend to use shorts a lot, but that's how we've gained a lot of our following pretty quickly. And our shorts views are doing pretty well right now for ourselves. And I'll post a short, and not even 5 minutes after I post it, I'm like, oh, I wonder how it's doing right now. But normally 5 minutes after a video, like you're not going to have a lot
Yeah.
of like jump start to it. But I'm just constantly checking it. I'm a huge numbers guys in the same respect
We
too.
uploaded a short. We have this. You ever see like the firewood bundles at stores? You know.
Yeah.
We have this firewood bundling machine. It just wraps firewood, and Melissa was actually using it. My wife, and we just did a short, and it was like 7.5 million views or
Yeah.
something. It's
That's
just
insane.
crazy.
Just on something so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy to think about that. Like if you break it down into just like the simple number, which is 7.5 million. Now you look at like a football stadium that has like maybe like 80,000 seats.
Yeah.
And you think about how many times you could fill up a football stadium with the amount of people that have watched that.
Right.
That's how I break it down in my head. And that's what makes it seem like such a crazy number.
We go to a lot of hockey games, same thing, but it only holds 19,000.
Yeah.
That's what I always think about when I'm there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Published a video
Never
that
thought about it like that.
Are you now?
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
like, you know, PPG, I can publish a video in the morning, and by that night when we go to the game, like you could fill that 4 times with
Yeah.
the number of people that watch that video.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I think it was you that had told me, or maybe it was Mrs. Morgan that had told me that you guys were sitting down at one of the Pens games, and someone behind you was like, because they had recognized you were like,
Yeah.
Mike Morgan, and you had said hi, took a picture with them. Your normal
He was actually
routine.
from Ohio. He was an engineer. I think he worked for, I don't want to misspeak, one of the car companies.
Yeah.
And he was in town on business and got tickets to the game. Nice guy, but yeah, came up and said hi.
Yeah.
So we run into people all the time.
Yeah.
All over.
And then you had the person next to you be like, "Hey, should we
Yeah.
know who you are?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Well,
Not
I mean,
really, no,
not
you shouldn't
unless you like this stuff."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super cool. We had one of our Noah. We just posted an Instagram reel. Noah had met. There's a jeweler in Atlanta, and he works with a lot of famous celebrities, rappers, artists, stuff like that. And funny enough, Noah had ran into him at the Atlanta Georgia airport.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I look at my friend my brother's friend. I'm like, he kind of looks like this guy from YouTube. And the place he owns is called Icebox. And so I went out. I said, Icebox? He turned. He was like, yeah. What's up? How are you?
Yeah.
And then we talked, and he just posted a clip, and he commented on our. He's got
112,000 on his actual personal Instagram, but
Yeah.
then 4.4 million on his business.
And he commented on our
Yeah.
page with his personal Instagram. It's
Really?
verified, so we verified
Yeah.
Very cool.
underneath of
And
it.
he was like, "You should come down to Atlanta, Georgia, get a tour of the place if you want to." And I was like,
Just-
"Okay."
Yeah.
But it's
Did you tell how genuine of a guy he was by what he said?
He was, because he had said something like, normally whenever I had said on a podcast before, like my dad's rule was, if you see a celebrity or someone of status, don't be that guy that's like jumping into their personal life, like the people showing up at your houses. Because it's their private spot. Maybe they're just kind of wanting to hang out
Yeah.
with their family. But in a scenario like that, where the owner Zahir had turned to Noah and had a genuine conversation, they were showing pictures of, they had just gone to Aruba. They were having a full conversation with him, and he commented back, and he was like, it was an honor to talk to you guys. Like he said to us, it was an honor to talk to you guys. And I appreciate that, because it shows that I think some people have a fear of talking to people of status, thinking that they're this higher being, and maybe that they don't have the right to talk to these people.
One of the most interesting people I ever met, you guys are obviously a lot younger than me, but did you ever see Bigfoot the truck, the big Bigfoot truck?
Yeah.
The monster truck.
Yeah.
Well, the first one ever made was the original Bigfoot, and the guy that made it, his name was Bob Chandler. And I was at Arches National Park in Utah, and I hike out to this, it's called the Delicate Arch. And it's about a mile from the parking lot, and I go back there. Well, this guy, he drops something, I pick it up for him. It's getting dark. He's like, thanks, and he's an older gentleman. And we were just kind of walking and talking on the way back to the parking lot. And he's asking me all about me. And this is long before like the YouTube channel and all that stuff. And we were just talking. And I said, what do you do? And he says, you ever see Bigfoot? And I'm like, oh boy, one of these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the monster or the truck? He's like, the truck. I'm like, oh yeah. He goes, well, I'm Bob Chandler. And he's the guy that, so we talked for a while. And they had a big RV motorhome. He said, there's room in the back if you want to just, sleep here tonight. And I said, I appreciate it. I'll get a room over in Moab. And I did. But we've emailed back and forth over the
cool.
years and stuff. Super nice guy. But he said now he travels and he's into photography, because for years what he did, just go from city to city to city, and he never saw anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just put the truck back together, get it ready for the next show. And so now his daughter's she's an attorney. She kind of runs the business, and he travels now and sees all the things that he missed all those years.
Kind of what Ed Sheeran said. Ed Sheeran, we just went to see him. He said, I used to go on tour, and I would go from hotel to the stage, back to the hotel, and then leave. Now he comes, and he went to Caliente's Pizza.
I heard that the
And
other
he
day.
did like a pop-up. He said, I'm going to all these cities.
He
and
handed
I'm
out
gonna-
like 100 tickets or something.
Yeah,
when
he's
he
like,
was-
I'm going to go out now, and I'm going to see the city where I go.
Yeah.
But on the monster truck spot, my dad grew up with the Gravedigger.
Oh, really? No kidding.
I forget his name, and my dad would be so mad at me. But no, my dad was close friends with the Gravedigger family.
Really?
And every time we go to the Outer Banks where grandma lives, we stop there they have a giant museum shop
Yeah.
with all the Gravediggers in the back and stuff, and we go say hi
That's
every
pretty
time.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's such a small world whenever you break it down like that.
Yeah.
Like it's so fun to be able to talk to people.
Yeah, we go to Monster
That story.
Jams, and we'd get to go on the dirt
Yeah.
down below and get in the truck and get like really good seats at the Monster Jams, because
Yeah.
my dad was good friends with the Gravedigger.
Yeah, that's so cool. Now I don't want to switch topics super fast, but about the outdoors, I was wondering, with someone like you that spends a lot of time outdoors, what is it about being outside, even if it's cold, raining? Like, what is it about being outside that you enjoy so much?
Actually, just like real physical work. You know what I mean? I just enjoy that kind of stuff, and I don't like killing myself. I don't think anybody does, but it just feels good to be outside, and I like to be back in the woods, and it's just peaceful. I don't know. I just I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just doing things outside, no matter
Yeah.
what it is, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Like it can be middle winter, super cold. I don't mind that either. You
Yeah.
know, I like that as well. Rain and mud, not really
Yeah.
a fan.
I thought maybe rain was a stretch.
Yeah, but no, I just always like doing things outside, and
You said you and your dad, you guys did a lot of side hustles. And
yeah.
so,
Well, my dad was an auctioneer. He always had like a normal job, and he was an auctioneer. But I have always done something
Yeah.
on the side, whether it be like some excavating or like when we first got married. I sold firewood like to pay for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
And then now we just pretty much give it away to people that need it, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, or use it. And we sell some, but it's more of a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, now we make money at it, but we don't rely on it like we used to.
Yeah.
When I first got married.
did your dad ever have any? I remember in one of your videos, you used to be the runner for your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any good like auction stories of?
There were no good stories.
Really?
No.
They have the real fast boys.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was very good. But being a runner, if you're not familiar with it, you would hold whatever they
Item it
were
was.
selling up, and they would sell it, and you'd have to get out through the crowd. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. And then those people thought you just kept walking. They didn't realize you had to return. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, and get back up. But it was long days because you'd haul. Sometimes you'd have an auction at a house somewhere, but sometimes they'd buy like a couple housefuls of antique furniture,
Yeah.
haul it somewhere. It would be 1, 2 in the morning. You'd get home. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
it was all said and done.
Back on the outdoors,
Uh-huh.
when I think of outdoors, I just think of like adventure.
Yeah.
Just if you're with the right group of people and you just start walking in the woods, like that's just.
It's a lot of
I
fun.
went for a run in the woods at school. One of the only times whenever I was doing that challenge with
Yeah.
McKenna, I just started going, just in the woods, all different paths, whatever path I could take, I could get down.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow,
Yeah.
this is where we live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think it's Noah and I we were making a joke on a podcast before, but like the kids aren't getting their daily dose of hose water like they used to from the garden hose and
Right.
playing outside. And but I think it's it says something about how COVID has changed a lot of things with being stuck inside, and how technology has changed a lot of things as well. Like running outside. Like sometimes you might be stuck inside playing video games. Not stuck. Like you enjoy playing video games with friends, same way I do. But you miss the simpler things of, hey, I'm just going to go take a run through the woods. Now, you don't think it's like this huge grand experience, but for people that like us, that we've just been grown up around technology, it's always been in our hands. The blue light's always been in our eyes. Like the simple things of going outside and just enjoying sunlight and the sounds of nature it's a pleasant feeling and a rewarding feeling at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was actually some good that came from COVID because a lot of people kind of started doing things outside.
That is true.
For the
Yeah.
first time. You know what I mean? Or kind of revisiting things they did when they were younger, but start going outside and doing things again.
Prices of wood went up,
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
way up.
Yeah.
Um,
People were building
Shortage.
stuff,
There was a
doing
shortage
stuff.
because everyone was building stuff at their house.
Yeah, we have the contractors upstairs that are extending the patio for us. Granted, it took them a year, but it's because he was like, I got to figure out how I'm going to buy lumber.
Yeah.
Because people were like, even now we're 2 years out of COVID, 3 years out of COVID, and he's
Couple, yeah.
yeah, and he's still struggling to find lumber to
Yeah.
be able to build things with, and that's his job. Like he's a small business owner and a contractor. Yeah, let's see. Do I have any more really good statistics for you? Not a whole lot, because I went over the big ones for you. This one, just over the 3 years since you really started, you have 195,566,888 total views from the time that I checked.
195 million. So it's-
Yeah. So that is
Off
a pretty.
of 1.7K videos.
Is that how many videos he's
Yeah.
published?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. That again tells you how much of a grind it is.
Oh, it is. It is. And anyone that wants, I always encourage anyone that wants to do something like that to do it. But you have to be self-motivated if you want to like make a go at it. You know what I mean? A lot of people think, oh, it's just easy. You just make videos, doing whatever.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
I edit normally about 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I've always gotten up very early. But that's when I edit, and then, whatever I'm doing that day, I make a video of it and put everything together, download some cards that night, edit
Yeah.
the next day. I don't publish every day, but we have quite an aggressive schedule. Usually 4 or 5 times a week we'll publish a video.
Wow. Do you, speaking like of the grind, and like you said, it's very self-motivated. Do you have any advice to aspiring YouTubers like myself and Noah, or people that want to be creators or maybe even entrepreneurs?
Yeah, well, if you want to hear what I have to say, I have a good way to put this. So whenever you're starting out, some of the mistakes, it's best to know what the mistakes you made were.
Yeah.
Because it's easy just to say, just keep putting up content. That's what you need to do. You just keep putting up content, and if you enjoy doing it, keep doing it. But some of the mistakes that I made, once like your channel starts growing a little bit, then you get like companies start reaching out to you and want to do things. And early on, I was kind of accepting offers that I shouldn't have. Not because the products weren't good or anything like that, but you have to get into that mindset. You're taking, even if you get 10,000 views on a real good video, you get 10,000 views, and you're showing somebody's product, if they wanted to mail those people a postcard, it would cost them $5,000 in postage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you don't sell yourself short. And we don't do many sponsored videos, just maybe 3 a month at the most. And we've picked some really good companies that we use and that we like to work with, but we turn down literally 99% of stuff that comes in, offers that come in. So I don't want to do a lot of sponsored videos, but it pays the bills. And then a couple years ago, I thought, we want to promote ourselves instead of other companies. And so we started like selling merchandise. We started selling Fire Starter. We've shipped it to every every state in the country. And it's been doing really well. Like Melissa, she came up with a new t-shirt design 2 weeks ago. And she sold 500 shirts in like 18 hours.
Whoa.
And then we pulled it off the website because she's
She's got to make the shirts.
got the presses and all that stuff and does all that. And our son Levi works for us. He does all the shipping and stuff. So you want to get everything out in a timely manner. So we have to like shut it off. So we'll do like a Fire Starter release maybe once a month and like a new design on a shirt or a hat or whatever.
Sure.
But once we figured out you need to promote yourselves, and that was one of the mistakes I made early on, because you're just starting. You're like, oh, this company wants to send me this thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
If you don't, if it's not something that I'd go buy myself, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you want to promote a product that helps you and
Yeah.
is genuine to you.
Get a company send us something.
Yeah,
Did
we
you?
did.
Yeah. It was an energy drink, but it was kind of like a girly one. It's called Aspire.
I think
Yeah.
Melissa drinks it.
Yeah.
His wife drinks
They
it.
sent
I
us.
think my wife and daughter drink it.
They sent us a case.
Really?
Yeah, because I
Found it at
was
Walmart.
at
or
Sam's
something.
Club, and some lady said, "Here, try this," and I did. I'm like, "No, these aren't bad." It's like not a lot of caffeine, so I drank one in the morning, and we had one on the podcast.
Yeah.
And tagged them, and they said something, and we're like, "Brand deal?" And they said no, but
No,
we'll
we're
send
not
you
looking
these
for one. Yeah, but then I'm going through their profile, and they've got all these girls that are promoting their drinks, and I'm like, what about us? What about the other demographic? Like, hey, we work out too.
We also talked to Newman's Pizza.
Oh yeah. So
Screw Newman's. They ghosted us.
So Noah is a big frozen pizza connoisseur, and the Newman's Own they're like a bigger food company. They don't do just pizza.
I don't know.
But
I love their pizza.
anyways, what kind of pizza was
It was a
it?
frozen margarita pizza, and I had it on the podcast, and they said something to us in the DMs, and we're like, brand deal, and they said we'll get back to you. They never got back to us.
Yeah.
What's the best frozen pizza?
It's called Newman's Own Margarita.
But I mean, is that your favorite?
Oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah. They're expensive, but the cool thing about them is all the proceeds go to charity.
That is the nice thing about Newman's. I
Really?
did see that. Yeah.
It's a
they're like
$10.
nonprofit.
It's literally a $10 frozen pizza, and it tastes so good. And all the money goes to charity. I like that.
What's your? Do you got a favorite frozen
I
pizza?
don't really eat much frozen pizza.
You sounded like you did.
No, years ago we used to, but
Yeah.
yeah, not so much anymore.
If you're interested, Newman's Own Margarita.
We'll try again. We're gonna
Stone-
plug again.
Stone
Right
Fire.
here.
It's so good.
Let's see. Noah, do you have some nonsense for him?
No, I just had a question. Like, just want to talk. Like, I saw your latest video was, I'm pretty sure it was your latest. It's the first one on the channel. Was transporting that cabin or that. Well,
Yeah.
what is that?
So we have a property in West Virginia, right near Deep Creek, Maryland.
Okay.
It's right across the border, and we got a cabin from a company called Tri-State Gazebo. They're in Deep Creek, and it's a cool little structure. It's 14 by 28 with a balcony, but we poured the pad. Like I built the driveway in, cleared all the trees, and then my buddy Tom Haas, he has a YouTube channel, Concrete with the Hosses. They came all the way down, poured a nice patio. And then this company brings this thing in on a trailer. I mean, it's on back roads. We crossed a 1-lane bridge with it and all this stuff. And then they pulled it on, and then an Amish crew comes in. The roof's all like hinged, and they put the dormers in and stand it all up. And I have to finish the inside. But actually, probably in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start on that. And then we have a shower house that we're bringing in. It's same design as that, but smaller. It'll come off to one side. So we'll have like a full cabin with running water and everything down there.
How quick did the Amish get their work done?
Oh, these guys are awesome.
So quick.
These guys, I'm telling you what, the one guy was Jonathan.
You started with the J. I thought you were going to say Jeb.
People in the comments were calling him Conan the Amish man. This dude was like
formed
ripped,
like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was strong. All his guys were.
They get
it done fast. We have property up in Newcastle. I talked about it on a podcast before, but we have it used to be like land that we just used to own, and it sold the sand rights for it. They dug it out. Luckily, it filled up with water for us, so now we have a private lake, which is pretty cool. But the pavilion that was on it, the Amish did it in like 8 hours. Like, put in the cement, put up the posts, put up like we've got a lightning rod on it, like all the shit, like the whole pavilion was set up in like 8 hours.
They're amazing.
They come in with like, they're just like, it's not even like freelance. You could just be like, hey, like, could you come and just like do this for us? And they'll be like, sure, because they just know they're going to get paid and be able to make their money for the week, and they'll come in and do your stuff, bang it out real fast, move on to the next one.
Funniest thing I think about the Amish is a Family Guy episode where Peter would like blow up this barn and turn around, and he'd turn back and be building it.
The Amish are just doing it.
They just kept going.
Yeah.
He'd like blow it up with a bazooka, and turn around, and they'd be building it.
They are a special. We said on the podcast before, because obviously we're up in New Wilmington, and the Amish it's a very heavy community around there. And we were talking about like if you could learn a culture other than your own, what would it be? And I said I think a pretty cool one to learn would be the Amish, just because they're they stick to their beliefs so strictly, and they also have the Rumspringa, which I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
They get a 3-month period where they can experiment with the outside world is it like their 18th birthday or like 21st?
It's something like that.
I didn't know that.
They get to like the young adult age, and they have 3 months to explore what they want, and then they can come back and say whether or not they want to be part of the Amish community. But if they leave, they are totally shunned by their family. They are like ostracized in like a new way. Like it's kind of sad in a sense, but I guess from their core beliefs and how strongly they believe in their stuff, it's pretty cool. But yeah, we've got a lot of Amish knowledge being up there.
We had like a building that you saw at our place. There's an Amish crew put the show up, and an Amish crew did the metal inside. They were great guys, hilarious, fun to be around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're kind of cutting it up all day, and they're good guys.
Yeah. You ever have an Amish donut before?
Yes, I have. They have it figured out with those things.
Oh, I know.
There's people like...
It's like a science they have that they can't share with the world.
It's like the Krabby Patty formula.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with Amish donuts, but they are very good. But I mean, people will like posting on Facebook, when are they coming back? You know what I mean? When are they coming back? What day is the Amish donuts?
It's like a hunt to find them.
They bring a little trailer in and they just crank them up. There's people lined up down the street for them.
Right across the street from where my apartment was in New Wilmington was a coffee shop that just got created this year. And every Friday they have Amish donuts in like their in like the glass cabinet in front where they have like their pastries, Amish donuts, and they have them decorated and covered in goodness. Yeah,
we were just talking about on the podcast before. This was the podcast we just filmed. Will come out next week. But Noah was talking about a cronut. which is a croissant donut that they sell at Epcot
Really?
in Disney.
Never heard of a cronut.
I've never been to Disney.
Really?
There's no reason to go.
He was saying as an adult there isn't.
There's like, you know how there's like Disney adults.
Yeah.
They're crazy about Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason you should have that.
I'm not a fan of crowds.
Okay.
I don't like super hot. You know what I mean? When we go on vacation, we like to go out west, and I like to drive. Believe it or not, much better than flying
You
anymore.
drive out west?
Yeah.
Like, all the way out there?
Take like 2 weeks. We went to like Glacier National Park, way up there, and Idaho is one of my favorite states.
Is it really?
Oh, it's just there's hardly anybody around. It's beautiful. And you have everything in Idaho. There's almost like some desert type stuff and alpine stuff, real sharp, steep cliffs and mountains. You know, there's just all kind of stuff in Idaho.
Yeah.
Colorado's nice too. We've been all through Colorado and Yellowstone 3 or 4 times, and Utah. But
Yeah.
we like going out there.
How was Yellowstone?
Yellowstone is really nice. Last time I was there, a friend of mine was out there at the same time, and I knew that. Well,
Yeah.
He's trying to text me, and this is a missed opportunity right here. Hardly any cell service, but he's trying to text me. I don't get it till we get back to West Yellowstone that night. We were a mile down the road from a grizzly bear attacking an elk in the river, dragging it out, and then it's like burying it right
Yeah.
there. And all these people could watch it. And like some guy that didn't even have a YouTube channel put it on YouTube. It had like 12 million views or something. I'm like, oh.
Damn. Yeah. That's so.
But I
cell
forget-
service.
Yeah.
The YouTube thing aside, that would have been crazy to see. But that bear, they'll like, I guess partially eat it and then they bury it.
Really?
Yeah, and that thing's in the riverbank with its paws.
Yeah.
And it's just going like, whoo, like a backhoe, just
Yeah.
throwing dirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like across the room. It's like, oh my gosh, the power that they have is unbelievable.
I think I could beat up a grizzly bear.
Yeah. Did you hear about that story of the there were I think it was either 2 or 3 wrestlers. They
did.
were out picking up elk sheds maybe,
Yeah.
and a grizzly bear had attacked one of the wrestlers. And the other 2 got on top of the grizzly bear and fought it off to save their friend that was being attacked by a grizzly bear.
Probably more so
Put 'em to-
distracted it. Because
Yeah.
they didn't
Put the
really-
bear in a chokehold.
It looked like a cartoon.
Full Nelson the bear.
Yeah.
People think bears. A lot of people think bears. You know, you got Smokey the bear and like Teddy
Yogi
Bear.
Bear.
and
Yogi Bear.
They're mean. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? And like some of them, like they attack things just to attack things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like they don't need 10 to eat 10 elk. But,
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's just a primal instinct for them.
I like to see the videos of like random bears going in people's backyards and like just hopping on the trampoline. And,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
It looks like Blue from Jungle Book just having
Yeah.
a good life.
Our neighbor had a black bear on his porch like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
crazy.
You know,
Yeah, there's been a couple of black bear
just
sightings
kind
in
of
the
passed
neighborhood.
through
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Well, because aren't the black bears the ones that you're supposed to get big in front of?
Yeah.
Like those are the ones that you can
Very
intimidate.
rarely will a black bear
Yeah.
attack anybody.
It was our first podcast. We actually talked about bears. The first one.
Yeah, we did. We talked about polar bears.
Yeah.
We talked about who would win in a fight, a gorilla or a black bear
Yeah.
or a
You
grizzly
know
bear.
how guys that hunt polar bears hunt polar bears?
Oh, no, I want to know this though.
You literally just go to where you think they are and they come find you. That's how you know.
They hunt you.
Yeah, you don't have to
So
go
you
look
hunt
for
them.
them. They'll find you. They'll smell you and come look for you.
Whoa, that is
14
crazy.
feet tall. They can stand.
Yeah.
Again, that Joe Rogan talked about on a clip, they can smell you through like 3 feet of ice
Yeah.
underneath. Like that is like 3 feet is probably about this
At least, yeah.
at least, and a polar bear could be underneath, and they can smell a seal, or the seal could be underneath, but they could smell through
Yeah,
the,
did you ever see
through the
them
thick
pound
ice.
through the ice and stuff?
Oh yeah, they're
I just saw a
monstrous.
clip of orcas in the Arctic or something.
The way they hunt.
The way they hunt.
Have you seen these videos at all?
No.
You can go ahead and tell it.
There was like 4 of them, and they like put their head over top the ice bank to look, and then they all swim away, and they all swim back under the ice, hitting the ice, like going up and hitting the ice. It would crack,
Oh.
and then once it all cracked, this sea leopard or whatever was
Sea
just
lions,
the
yeah.
sea lion was just isolated on one small piece. And they all swim by and splash the wave over top of the ice. Over
Slide them off.
Using their
slide 'em
weight,
right off.
yeah, because they were swimming so big and fast.
Like they literally like
They got it figured out.
Oh yeah,
massive like this. What's the glacier?
like just sheets of ice.
Sheets of
that they're
ice
sitting
in the
on.
water, massive piece, and they just swim under and hit it. 4 or 5 of them and just break it up so easy.
It's
so
crazy.
smart.
It's crazy the way those animals hunt because that's like
Yeah.
it's just their
Wolves kind of do the same thing. So like if a wolf starts chasing like a deer, the deer can outrun the wolf, but the wolf, you know, when they're coming in to hunt, they'll leave like a couple of their buddies like out here,
Yeah.
over here. One wolf will when he gets tired, he stops. That deer just runs to another one, and the other one.
Well, they keep passing off
it's
until
like
it gets
a relay
tired.
race. You know what I mean? They have it figured out, and then that's how they.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
We just recently, my mom had a couple of her friends over, and we were sitting outside, and we heard what sounded like rodents scuffling in the backyard because they were letting off kind of like squeals, and I was like, maybe it's a coyote, but probably not because coyotes have a real high pitched like scream, like they almost sound like people. It's really bizarre. And then my sister goes, "Oh, it smells like a skunk." And then I go, "What?" And then it all hits us in the face at the same time. 2 skunks had gotten into it in our backyard, and they both sprayed. And so our backyard was just it smelled horrendous.
Yeah.
And so we're running back inside, and the door's open. We're trying to get the dogs in because my mom didn't want Cooper to stick his nose through the fence and get sprayed. So now our house inside smells like skunk. Our garage smelled like skunk overnight. It was horrendous.
I had a skunk on my front porch once.
Did you really?
Right by the front door, and I could walk past. I'm like, skunk? And I literally called my dad. He was on his way home. I said, "Dad, you might just drive around the block a few times because there's a skunk on the front porch."
Yeah. Have your dogs ever gotten into anything?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything?
Skunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ever get sprayed pretty good?
Yeah, 2 years ago we had like a whole family of them.
Oh, really?
Wee little ones, they're cute. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're like this big.
They're
these
so
little,
cute.
the little skunks, and but we didn't see them after that. They're around for like a week, and I mean we would see them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then they just kind of moved on or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, one of our dogs got hit, like a direct hit.
Full frontal skunk pull.
Yeah. Well,
We pulled out all the stuff. We're like Googling all this stuff.
Everything you could do.
Yeah. And all the stuff that they say will work, it's like
Tomato juice.
so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not, I don't think there's anything out there that's just going to make it go away
Yeah.
in one.
did you do the whole tomato and
I
the?
can't remember. She had all kind of stuff. And it just, it was days.
Yeah.
Smelly dog.
Yeah.
Any massive snakes?
Black snakes. Yeah.
Do they get pretty big?
Yeah, we've had like 5, maybe even 6 footers.
Oh,
I swear I just saw a 6-foot black snake the other day building a pool.
really?
We get to this house, and there's this much of this snake's shed hanging out from under the pool. And she's like, "Can you guys grab that and just throw it over the fence? Because I don't want to touch it." I'm like, "Okay." I'm trying to pull it out for it to come out. It's coming and it's coming, and then it breaks off. I'm like, I don't know how big the snake actually
Yeah.
was. And I'm walking to the van to grab something, and Vinny looks at me. He yells at me, "No, the snake's here!" I get back. I see like this much of
A
it,
monster.
and it's still this thick. Like it's still massive. And I
Yeah.
see the tail, and I try to grab it, and it muscles its way out of my hand under the pool deck.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, "Vinny, where'd that come from?" He's like, "It was in that bush." I'm this far from the bush.
Where you're pulling it?
Yeah, but he said that snake, it had to be like 6 foot. I've never seen a snake bigger than that before. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Blew my mind.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of snakes.
I'm not either.
As much as like if I see one over, I'm okay with that. But it's you always when you see them, you like almost step on one or something.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like that at all.
It's the jump scares that get you.
My girlfriend is deathly afraid of snakes. So I told her that this happened, and she said we would have had to move if we were living in this house.
Set the house on fire. and leave.
Yep,
Yeah.
leave. She
Yeah.
said I can never go back to that pool.
Our house kind of like cantilevers out over above the garage, and there's a little piece of soffit, like just bent down,
Yeah.
and we had these pine trees right beside the house. Well, I come home one day and I'm like, whoa. And the gutter comes down and goes in. This black snake is partway back in that soffit, and then he's like curled up on the gutter up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, can kind of get in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like run this way. I tell Melissa, everyone on that side of the house, go to that side
Yeah.
of the house, you know? And so I'm like, there's going to be some collateral damage here. So I shoot this snake, you know?
Yeah.
And I hit it, and it went back in there a little bit. I'm like, I got him, you know. So I had a piece of rebar, and I get a ladder, and I pried this piece of wood down, and I stick the rebar, and I'm going to slide it out, and it just starts like
Coiling.
flopping around in there. I'm like, whoa. And he's back in there, and it was all day. I ended up like tearing all that soffit off that side.
Yeah.
Like the insulation. It was 10 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
get him and put everything back. It was, yeah.
So with water snakes, there's 2 out of 3 of them are dangerous to you.
Yeah.
So we were at Moraine State Park and I was fishing. There's a snake going across the water. Hook it. I mean, I was trying to, but at the same point, I was like,
You were like kind of hoping
Yeah,
not.
I've done
not
stuff
to.
like that, yeah.
and then again, 2 out of 3 are dangerous. So I'm not going near this. And it wouldn't come off the hook. And so I don't like killing animals, but I took the rod with the line.
Just to try to get it off.
Yep, like the Hulk did to Loki. And
Oh, in Avengers?
I
Yeah.
had to do it.
Dude,
I'm
it's
not a
insane.
fan of any snake.
And it got all like penned, and I was sad deep down, but I was like, it's just a snake.
Yeah. We've got up at our property, we have tons of snakes, and we'll get them in the wood pile too, like I'm sure you do all the
Yeah.
time. They'll just sit underneath the logs. And a couple good stories from it. Like the one time I saw a skin, and I was just like, kind of just immediately, I was like, oh, a snake. So my grandpa jumps up from splitting logs and runs backwards and falls. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you said there's a snake. And I was like, that doesn't mean run as fast as you can
fall
and
down
fall
here.
over. Like, you're almost 80, man. Like, come on, we got to keep this in check. So I look again. I was like, oh, it's a snake skin. And he was like, oh, you got me. And I was like, well, I didn't mean to, like, get you hurt or anything. But we'll get him again. And we had a real one this time. And my grandmother, she's, like, grew up working on tobacco fields. Like, she's a real hard-working woman. And she has, like, no soul for these snakes. So she's like, put it in the fire. And I'm like, that's cruel. I'm like, there are other ways to get rid of a snake than put it and watch
Yeah.
it burn in a fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, personally, I would not want to be burned alive.
No.
I'm not going to do it to this snake. And I was like, holy cow, like you are a hard woman. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Put it in the fire.
Yeah.
Never cross her.
Yeah. Yeah. Casey, we have German short-haired pointers, as you saw. And Casey, she's 13, but she is our hunting dog for sure. She's gun shy now. She only got to be because fireworks and all those things kind of tend to scare dogs. But she'll hunt pretty good. She'll get moles and all those kinds of things. But the one time at our old house, my mom, my dad, and my mom, we had gone to see, my mom, my dad, sorry. We had gone to do you remember, I don't know if Eva ever had to do this, but Evans City Middle School did this thing where you would go to like learn about drugs. It was like this Beyond, I can't remember the name of it. Mm-hmm. But anyways, my mom, like we were there and my sister was at home with a babysitter. And Casey is outside like barking, like doing all the things that a dog are doing. And the babysitter looks outside and goes, oh my God, she had treed a raccoon
Yeah.
and is now holding the raccoon in her mouth, and the babysitter calls my mom in the middle of what we're doing, and she's like, what do we do? Casey got a raccoon, like what are we supposed to do? And so the story proceeds where she calls our neighbor down the street, and he shows up, and he's just got 2 garden gloves on. He just goes, where is it? And shows up, gets the raccoon, just kind of covers it with a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And Casey had already gotten it at that point, but it was just funny that Casey had gotten a raccoon, and she did it again. We were at the property up in Newcastle. And normally when we're up there, there's a ton of people there. We're having a good day, enjoying it with everyone. And Natalie was with her boyfriend at the time and friends at the time, and Casey comes walking over, and she has got this raccoon in her mouth, and it is still breathing.
Oh, yeah.
And she walked up, and everyone's just like, oh gosh. And we got her to leave it. It was kind of like sadly its last moments of life, and so we had to hide it from her because she could smell it still.
Yeah.
And so I had to go dig a hole out in a field, like far away from her, so she wouldn't
'cause
go
she
get this
wouldn't
dog.
quit. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
She's a stubborn dog.
And then once they get one, like you said, anytime there's one nearby, it'll be.
Oh yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
Like she once got a baby bunny. This is one of my all-time favorite stories. Not because she got a baby bunny. Sorry, cute animals. But she brought this baby bunny in the house, and my dad is looking at the floor in the house, and he's like, "Who's leaving their stuffed animals around?" Because the way that the pointers will kill them is they have a real soft mouth because they're hunting dogs and like waterfowl dogs.
Yeah.
And so they'll kind of just like shake it around so it dies of pretty much trauma. And so it looks like a stuffed animal because there's no puncture wounds. Like so the baby bunny's on the ground, and my dad's like, "Whose stuffed animals are these?" And I come downstairs, and I'm like, "I mean, I don't have any." And Natalie goes, "I don't have a bunny." And he looks at it closer again and realizes Casey had just brought a dead baby bunny that she had just killed and brought it into the house.
Oh no!
It was so sad because my sister's now like, "Oh my God, there's a baby bunny. It's dead in the house." But like, what are you gonna like? Your dog's gonna be a dog. You can't really do anything about
I
it.
just sent you that video of me scaring that raccoon in my backyard.
Yeah.
He was on my garbage can and I hit on the glass door and he jumped off.
He just started running away.
Hands up.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you caught me!" Like a burglar, the nature's bandit.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. You ever have any raccoon problems?
Oh yeah. They come around a lot. Fox. We have chickens. The fox.
Oh, really?
I saw that foxes are one of like the easiest wild animals that you can approach.
Really?
I don't know. They seem pretty elusive.
They are very. I barely see them
Well,
up
like,
here.
Maybe like
They-
the little pups. Maybe.
Yeah, but I saw some dudes like you can literally walk up to it and pet it, and
never-
it'll try to bite you to try to display its dominance, but it won't actually like rip you up. It'll just like put your arm, just like you play with a bit puppy.
Yeah.
Try to bite
Kind of
you.
like teeth you almost.
He said that's what they're doing. They won't ever try to bite you. And I was like,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't want to try it either.
like to me, it's like, how do you even get that close in the first place? They're
Yeah.
just gonna run away.
Yeah. That's so odd.
Several years ago, we had one killing a lot of our chickens, and it was just relentless. It would come back
Yeah.
every day. We let them out in the evening, but you could just be standing in a yard with several people talking, and thing would just come busting out of the woods right
Yeah.
in front of everyone, and just all heck breaks loose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chickens going crazy. The fox is throwing them around. And
That's
it's
crazy.
It's wild. Yeah.
Nature
It really
is something.
A fox in the hen house.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, we don't. The one time I was at a just stay over camp. I don't know if you know the name Camp Conakry.
Oh yeah.
We're up there, and they have the bathhouse away from the cabins because you stay in a cabin with 7 other people, and the bathroom is far away. Like you're living in a cabin with everyone, and I get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, and I look over and I see 2 raccoons digging through a garbage can at the bathhouse, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have to use the bathroom anymore because I don't want to go over there and deal with 2 raccoons that might possibly be rabid, and now they're dealing with with a camper that has rabies walking around, giving it to everyone. But yeah, nature is something.
Do you build a lot of stuff? Like
Yeah, we build things.
favorite project you done?
This building that we just built, I really like it. I had someone build the big shell, but it's a real big, like a hobby barn kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's 40 by 72 and a nice patio. And then we're doing like a big game room on one end, but it's all like tongue and groove pine and like rustic looking.
Cool.
It's really, yeah. It's been a long project, and you kind of
Yeah.
work on it in the evenings and stuff when you can. But I'm down to the kitchen now in it.
So are you good at like fabricating stuff? Like you can just make it because you know how to do it? Or?
Out of wood, I can. I'm not into welding and things. I wish I was, actually. I know guys that can just need something, they make it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I need an instruction book to make stuff. Like
Yeah. Well,
I wish I
I mean,
didn't, but-
some stuff comes like that. Like we were talking about on the podcast not too long before, working with your dad, learning skills like that. My dad would just hand me a manual, have me read it, and they go, "Okay, build it." And so like all the like as a young kid, like I was 10 or 12, but it's like I was making the garage shelves, and it's just something
Yeah.
nice to have to be able to read all that stuff. Because like my
Right.
sister's, she's moved into college already, but she wanted this kind of nightstand cabinet-ish thing, and we had to build it ourselves. And like if we hadn't known how to do that, maybe I would have had to hire someone, or my sister maybe goes to school without something that she needs.
Right.
So it's just like valuable skills like that, working with your dad or learning how to do simple things like reading a manual. It's like Legos. I said before in a podcast, I think dads condition their sons through building Legos,
Yeah.
reading a manual that way.
yeah, I agree. I like that.
I had another question too. Being that you split wood and you're very well versed in knowledge of that, what are the 3 best log types? I should say like oak, cherry, like those kinds of things to burn.
Probably oak burns the hottest, and you get the less ash from
Yeah.
oak. So like if you have, a lot of people are into the outdoor fire pits. You build swimming pools, you probably see a lot of people with fire pits and stuff like that, and all the like the Brio stoves and the Solos. all those smokeless fire pits that they sell now, they burn wood fast. So like people that sell firewood like seeing them buy them because,
Yeah.
but like the oak, you get a lot less ash out of it and it burns the hottest. But here in the east, we have good hardwoods like oak and cherry and maple and hickory, things like that. Or out west, it's mostly all softwoods, like firs and pines and spruces. We have some pine and spruce here, but out west they don't have the hardwoods that we have here.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this is, if you're ever in the area, it's totally out of your element, but it's the neatest thing. Up on Route 6 in north central Pennsylvania is the PA Lumber Museum. Yeah, Lumber Museum, I think it's called, but it's the whole history of the Pennsylvania forest.
Oh, really?
And it's fascinating. So back late 1800s, early 1900s, they had cut almost every tree in the state.
Yeah.
And it was all white pine and hemlock. And they built all the cities, New York City, out of all that wood. And they just destroyed everything.
Right,
I
'cause
mean,
they
there
took
was
everything.
nothing left. But the hardwoods started growing. And then we turned into like the hardwood capital of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but it's crazy how bad it was. And today, even with all the housing plans and everything going on, there's actually more trees in Pennsylvania today than there was like in 1910.
Really?
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, way more.
Yeah. Trying to replant these forests that they took out and
Yeah, and it just kind of, the hardwoods just grow on their
Yeah.
own.
yeah. Do you have a favorite piece of machinery that you own? Like one that's just fun to use? Or,
I think I have an excavator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Just like being like a little kid and using like one of your toy excavators. And,
Yeah, like today I was
Digger.
Yeah.
digging out big stumps with it and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just comfortable and it's smooth. And
Yeah.
I put a podcast in, Bluetooth headphones, and just
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah. I not to really kind of touch on this subject, but if you hadn't watched the video before, your father-in-law had been hit with one of the
Yeah.
logs. How is he doing from that?
He's doing great. My father-in-law is in his early 80s, and we were splitting wood, and it was kind of a freak thing. We've got this big, like, commercial log splitter with a 6-way wedge, and when it's forcing the wood through the wedge, I've seen them kind of kick out to the side or flop back. This one was like squeezing a watermelon seed in it going, and this big chunk of wood, this big around, and this
Yeah,
long,
like a
it went boom, flipped out forwards, which I've never seen, and
Uh-huh.
hit him right here in the head.
Oh, jeez.
yeah,
It was like a crime scene down there. It was bad.
yeah.
But stitches, and he's a tough old bird though. He got stitches out the next week, and he's good.
Yeah, I remember you saying because you posted the video literally I think like the day after,
Yeah.
and you had said he's ready to be down in the wood yard
Yeah.
again, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I talked about it just to kind of bring awareness and other people
Yeah.
to be careful, but I didn't show the video. I had it on video, but it's
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
it's hard to watch.
Well,
I
because
get, I get two freak accidents like that.
oh, did you? Oh, how about the owner of the pool business or
No,
not?
not the owner. One of my coworkers last year, I had already gone back to school, and we were supposed to insert a fiberglass pool. So it comes in on a crane, and you literally drop it into the hole that's dug out. They're doing this, and the crane gives out and falls on. The guy's name is Frank. So like the weight of the pool and the crane is on top of this guy. He breaks
The whole crane tipped
the
over.
whole crane fell on its side and crushed him. He's got 2 plates and like 17 screws in his back, and he's not paralyzed, but he's still not walking yet. This was in October.
Oh my.
Wow.
And then another one, we're at my house, and my dad was we rented a Bobcat. No reason my dad should have been using a Bobcat.
Yeah.
Skid steer. There's no reason he should have been doing it. They come out, they tell you how to do it. He's like, okay. He's out there for like 2 hours doing good. He's just flattening out the slant so guys can get back there.
Yeah.
He tries one more go, and he tries to come up this hill. He flips it. And I'm in the shower. My mom comes up. Noah, your dad, he's stuck in the Bobcat because it's flipped upside down and it's smoking. He's literally in the cab, just breathing in smoke. And
Yeah.
I literally get out of the shower, put on shorts, run outside. I was ready to flip it. I had
the
that
adrenaline
moment.
going.
I had that adrenaline. I was gonna flip this, but he had climbed out. But yeah,
Did it go over backwards?
backwards.
Yeah.
Yep. It went backwards, and it flipped once, and then it landed on its side, and he was stuck in there.
Probably had the bucket up in the air going up a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, he should not have been using it.
Yeah.
You should not just be able to rent one of those if you want.
Yeah. You sound like you had experience from that.
No, I just know that's what
The
happens.
heavy that going up.
You
and,
get that bucket up in the air because they have a counterweight on the back so you can lift heavy things. So if you don't have much weight in the bucket and you have it up,
the counterweight's gonna.
it's just gonna pull you over
Yeah.
backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should not be using it.
Yeah, it's just just the simple stuff is what's going to get you in trouble most of the time. Like we were at my old house, we were painting the deck, and it was a very big overhang. Like it was on the one side, it was pretty close to the ground. As you got further, like the way that our yard was, it was on a decline. And so my dad was on the outside on the decline and had his ladder up and didn't have anyone holding it.
Yeah.
And he was painting, and all of a sudden, the next thing I know, my dad's on the ground in the rocks. He hit his back pretty hard, but luckily, by some grace of God, like he wasn't hurt from that at all. But it's just like holding a ladder, you wouldn't think like your dad's like, oh, I got it, and then you're overdoing your business painting, and the next thing you know, your dad's got paint flying in the air and he's falling
Yeah.
backwards, and it's scary. It takes you by surprise. Especially too, like he was saying, he has it on video because you were recording with your family.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of wanted to showcase it, and then a freak accident happens, and
I was kind of glad that I did because it happened so quick. We didn't know how it happened
yeah.
or why. So at least I was able to keep watching it to figure it out so it doesn't happen again.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. And I like that you brought awareness to it, and you were telling your viewers about how you're gonna prevent it from now on, and making sure that whenever you're down there, no one's in front. You're going to be the only one down there using the heavier machinery.
We had another accident a couple weeks ago.
Oh, did you really?
Eva's party.
Oh, with the fireworks?
Yeah. We had a fireworks show every year for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I always hand light them. I have an electronic firing system, but I just always kind of like doing it. Still don't know what happened, but a mortar hit me in the leg.
Oh, wow.
Right in the thigh right here. And I never felt, I mean, I've been hit with baseballs when I was younger, like by guys who could
Sure.
really throw way harder than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jeez.
it's more like a baseball bat, but harder than that.
Yeah.
I got down. I thought I was going down, passing out. It hurt so bad, but it was just a direct hit, and then when it landed on the ground, it exploded.
Oh.
But that part didn't hurt. Just the impact.
It was the
of it.
hitting your muscle.
My leg was all swelled up by the time I got to the house, and it had broken the skin like in a circle.
Yeah.
And it was already black and blue and all swelled up. And so we had some like nurses and doctors, all kind of people at the party, and I was talking to people, and they said, just for tonight, keep it elevated, ice it down real good. And I did, and the next day, the swelling was way down.
That's good.
Not completely, but way down. And now I'm in the yellow phase of the bruise.
Of the
You
bruise.
know? I mean, that's like the last.
Yeah.
You go from black, purple to
Yeah.
yellow, but yeah.
It was a baseball. It was a pitch from hell, pretty much,
Oh, it
right into your
was-
thigh.
It was,
It had to have been the
hard, yeah.
Charlie horse of like,
yeah.
because you get Charlie horse before, and you stand up out of a car from sitting there in a soccer tournament,
Yeah.
and it hurts. But I could not. How fast do those fireworks
I
travel?
don't know. Really fast. Like,
Fast and hard.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're walking because,
Yeah.
sometimes a femur's a strong bone, but freak accident. We're
Yeah,
on
I
the
had
subject.
no damage to the knee or anything. It was just right on the muscle.
Yeah,
Boom.
we one of my ex teammates. I had already moved on to a new soccer club at the point, but we were so close with the teammates that were on the old team, and this kid, lo and behold, had bone cysts in his femur, so it makes the femur really weak, or the bone wherever the bone cysts are, and so the kid had gotten a thigh right into his femur, and his femur snapped clean in half. And the parents that were there that we still talk to today said that they've never heard such a horrifying scream because the femur is the strongest bone, which therefore makes it the forgetting the word, the worst pain you'll feel.
Yeah.
And they couldn't, for a half hour, they couldn't move him because it hurt so bad. So they finally got him in the stretcher. They got him surgery, but it's just freak stuff that happens. It scares the crap out of it.
You'll see when you guys get older too. I mean, you always try to be careful, but as you get older, you're more careful than you were when you were younger.
Yeah.
It's just the way guys are, you know what I mean? But all those little things that you do when you're younger, they come back and haunt you later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that ankle injury you did that you didn't think anything of. Or 20 years later, it's like, what's up with that ankle?
Yeah.
That's from
Yeah.
something you did.
Yeah,
That's gonna be you.
it's made my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you busted up not busted up your back, but FedEx.
Yeah,
Put some work
FedEx.
in
I've
there.
also broken my back before.
Did you?
2 spots.
Oh,
Just
I think
two
I kind of
different
remember the
fractures,
story.
but yeah, two different spots. It's funny because I broke my back, and my friend goes inside. He's like, "Nose outside, he can't breathe. His back really hurts." And
Yeah.
I finally get inside, and she's like, "You're okay. You just got the wind knocked out of you." My friend had gone home, and I'm sitting on the couch for an hour, and I go upstairs like, "Oh, my back hurts so bad.
Yeah.
I still can't breathe." It's like, "Fine, we'll take you to the Med Express." They get there and like get the X-ray, and like, your son's back is broken. And so then I go to Children's for like I have to sit
How
in
old
the
were you?
eighth grade. How old were you in eighth grade?
8th grade was
How'd you do
probably
it?
about.
Well, this is the first time I ever say to anybody.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm old enough. I can tell my parents. But I told everybody that I fell off a slide. I
Yeah.
was running up my slide and I slipped and I fell off and landed on my back. I was climbing off the deck of my pool area and I was holding onto the poles and they snapped out and I fell about 13 feet to the ground on a hill right on my back.
Oh. So what'd you do with the poles? How did your parents not notice the poles out of the deck?
It was like so behind our shed,
Yeah.
the deck extends by the pool area.
Yeah.
And that's where the heater and stuff is. So it's kind of out of the way. You don't see it.
Yeah.
Like unless you're back there looking.
Yeah.
And it's just two side by side. And I threw the pool in the snow. I said I fell off the slide.
Oh, my
I didn't
goodness.
want to be mad at me.
Yeah.
In retrospect, they shouldn't have broke.
It's the deck's fault.
This probably shouldn't have broke. Like the people who made our deck, we sued them because they never finished the deck and they did a crappy job. It took 3.5 years for a deck to be built.
Oh my, yeah.
These guys would show up once a week and not show up at all, not text,
Yeah.
not say, "Hey, we're not coming." Yeah, total,
Just didn't show up.
just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was shoddily made, and so yeah,
It's the deck's fault.
yeah.
Wow.
They still won't watch this. They don't.
Your parents? Not even if I make a short out of
They
it?
don't even know. Oh, my dad might see it.
Yeah, your dad might see it on TikTok.
dad might see it.
Hey, you're okay now. Not really, but
Yeah, I fell off the slide.
yeah, that's what we're gonna stick with.
2 spots, and I was in Children's for like 3 days.
Ugh.
Yep.
That stinks. That had to
And my
hurt.
mom was like, "This is like my worst mom moment ever. Like your son's back is broken, and you say just shake it off."
Even with whenever you got in the car,
Yeah,
crashed in your house, not in your house,
Oh.
but the
yeah. When I was younger, I don't even know how old I was. Our drive was a hill, down a street, down another hill, people's houses. And so we just got home. We had to leave, go get in the car. Me and my sister get in the car. And I want to listen to music. So I turn the car on, and I somehow get in reverse and go down the hill, across the street, down the hill, into the front house of these people. And it was my second grade teacher's parents' house. Busted down their front door in a minivan.
wanted to
Now that
listen
you-
to some NSYNC.
Yeah, just wanted to listen to Bye Bye Bye. We should have sued the car company because why should
Why
a kid
could like a 5-year-old kid?
in a family car?
Yeah.
Why should a kid have been able to turn the car on and put it in reverse? Like there should nowadays you got to put your foot on the brake
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
even move it. I didn't. There's no possible way I did that, and I just put it in reverse. And we went backwards.
My grandfather was teaching me how to drive in his truck, and up at the property, and we just planted little maple trees, and there were still saplings at the time. I'm driving, and then somehow, some way, I ended up like veering off the road, and then just totally crushing one of the saplings and driving straight over it. My grandpa's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like I'm just trying to control this car, and he's got his foot on the gas and trying to get the brakes because I can't reach, but I'm driving over all of his saplings he's just planted. Trying to learn how to drive a car at like, I don't know, 8 years old, 10 years old. It's a lot of fun though. That the playlists are a good way for the audience and the viewers to connect to the music that we like and that we listen to. And so Noah and I will add 3 songs each, and then you can add 3 songs that you really like listening to. And like I said, it's just a good way for the viewers to say, "Hey, oh, he kind of likes the music that I like," and those kinds of things like that. So I don't know what I'm going to add on this one. Do you have any idea, Noah?
Yeah, I got them right now. Pa Siempre by Taney. It's a Latin song. Overpass Graffiti by Ed Sheeran. And let's go with Girl by Mike Towers.
Nice. I'm gonna go. Just to give you a little bit more time to think. Since I went to the Zach Brown concert, I'm gonna go. Same boat, out of the middle, and then I'm gonna go. My Old Man, all from Zach Brown Band. Yeah.
We've got one.
Yeah.
Can I just go with one?
Yeah, you can go with one if you
I'll
want.
go with Tyler Childers, Nose to the Grindstone.
I wonder if I have that one in there. I don't know, but that's a really good song. I really like Tyler Childers' music.
You don't have it in there?
Oh, nice. Sweet. I put Tyler Childers' Lady May, Feathered Indians maybe. I don't
No,
know.
there's
if
two
Feathered
versions
Indians
of
in there.
that. There's one where he drops a bad word at the beginning, but I don't think it would be on there.
We're okay. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a live. I think he has a vinyl version and like a
Yeah.
live audience version or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Good.
yeah, I think we're okay with wrapping up the podcast with where it is. Like I said before, please make sure to check out Mike Morgan's Outdoor with the Morgans YouTube channel on YouTube, like I just said. It'll be all in the description. Check out his store with the merchandise. You guys, what do you guys have going now? Clothing? You guys
He has some
have...
shirts and Firestarter right now. We'll
Yep.
be coming out with some more hats here soon.
Yeah. Firestarter, Mike had showed it to me before. It works fast. It's great.
Yeah.
It's affordable. As always, please like and subscribe. We will see you in the next episode. Deuces.
You can't manage this, can't break this.